virtue. Okay, so let us try to define the concept of potential energy beta. Yesterday we defined the kinetic energy beta. What is the kinetic energy? The energy which is being defined by the virtue of its motion is called kinetic energy, and it is given by the formula half of your m into v square. We have written that one in terms of momentum and also in terms of your energy per deflation. Now let us try to define the next concept, that is your concept of potential energy. Energy of the body by the virtue of its position is called as of your potential energy. So the energy of the body, I can write here, the energy of the body by virtue of its position. By virtue of its position is called potential energy beta. How do you define the potential energy? Negative for conservative forces, if I am defining beta, integral of your du from your initial energy to your u final energy will be equal to minus of integral of your dw, isn't it? So what type of forces? By your conservative forces. Okay, so integral of du will be equal to negative of the work done. So if I substitute the limits beta, integral of du is nothing but u, upper limit minus lower limit, if I am substituting, u final minus of your u initial will be equal to minus of your work done by conservative field. So u final minus u initial is equals to minus of your WC. Is that clear? That means I can write here delta U is equals to your minus of your WC. WC is nothing but work done by the conservative field. Work done by the conservative field. Or else I can even write this one as U initial minus of U final will be equal to work done by the conservative field. If I am removing the negative sign there, I can just interchange the positions of your U initial and U final. That will give me the potential energy. Okay. So the energy of a body by the virtue of its position is called as a potential energy. So integral of du or negative work done by conservative field is called as of your potential energy. Or else you can write as u final minus u initial is equals to minus of WC, or delta U is equals to minus of WC. So if I'm removing the minus sign, so we'll be writing as u initial minus u final is equals to WC. Is that clear, beta? See, work done by the conservative force is independent of path beta. Make sure of that one. Work done by conservative field, work done by your conservative force is independent of path. Is independent of your path. Clear? That means it is always remaining for me the constant, isn't it? Like say for example, if I'm going from point A to the point B like this, I can go directly like this, or else I can go like this, or else I go like this. Any path you go, it will always be same. Potential energy of the B minus potential energy of your A will be equal to negative of the work done by the conservative field, which is always a constant. Okay, so therefore I can say that UB minus of your UA is always a constant. That means initial energy must be equal to final energy. Okay. Is that clear? Is it clear? Okay. So potential energy is a conservative parameter. As it is a conservative force can be positive, negative, or zero. So I can say that potential energy can be either positive, either negative, or it may be also zero. Because potential energy will depends upon what beta? Reference frame. Potential energy depends on frame of reference from where you're doing the problem. Okay. So potential energy is always constant for your conservative fields, and It depends on your frame of reference. It can be positive, negative, or it may be also your zero. Is that clear? Sure. Let me go in detail related to this one. Potential energy du is equals to minus of your dw, isn't it? So dw I can write in terms of force beta, minus of your F into your dx. So I can write here F is equals to minus of your du divided by dx. Negative potential gradient is also called as of your force. Negative potential gradient is also called as of what? Gravitational force part of relation. Yeah, force part. F is equals to minus of du by dx. Clear? Okay. So conservative force always acts in the direction of potential energy of the system beta. In the potential energy of the system which is been decreasing. Minus gravity, it will be decreasing. Is it clear? Frame, can you give me an example of frame of reference for potential energy beta? Like see, if you are doing the potential energy on the ground, it will be zero. If you are doing the potential energy at the 10th floor of your building, then it will be mg into h. So as the reference is changing, the potential energy is also changing. Okay, na beta? Okay. Let me give you some examples. Like say, gravitational potential energy of two particles. What is the formula? U is equals to minus of your G M1 M2 divided by your R. Isn't it? We'll do the derivation of this one in the work power energy. Okay. Now, work done by the spring force formula beta. One more example. Work done by spring force. Work done by spring force will be equal to how much? Minus of half into K into your x square. When the spring is stretched or compressed by some amount x, so I can write here energy U will be equal to negative of the work done. So that is equals to minus. This is minus of half of your K into x square. So that will be equal to how much for me? Half into K into x square. Okay. So work done by the spring force will be equal to how much beta? Half of your kx minus of half of kx square. So potential energy, if I'm writing right that one, so potential energy is negative of the work done, so that will be equal to half of your k into your x square. Clear? Is that clear? Sure. Next one, but very important concept. Concept of work energy theorem. Concept of your work energy theorem. Okay. See, what is the work energy theorem, beta? Work done by all the forces. I can say all the forces, maybe conservative or non-conservative, whatever it may be. That must be always equals to your change in kinetic energy. So work done by your net force. Work done by net force. That means all forces. Net force is equal to change in kinetic energy. Is equal to change in kinetic energy. Okay, that means work done by your net force will be equal to delta K. That delta K is equals to K final minus of K initial. Work done by net force means what beta? Work done by net force is nothing but work done by conservative force, work done by your non-conservative force, work done by an external force, plus work done by your pseudo force, plus all the forces. Okay, C means conservative, NC means non-conservative, EXT means external, pseudo means pseudo force basically, isn't it? So I can say that work done by all the forces must be equal to your, this will be equal to your K final minus of your K initial. Clear? So work done by your conservative force, non-conservative force, external force plus pseudo force must be equal to change in kinetic energy. Must be equal to change in kinetic energy. Okay. So as work done by conservative force is equals to negative of potential energy. So therefore I can write here negative potential energy plus of your work done by your non-conservative force plus work done by your external force plus work done by your pseudo force must be equal to change in kinetic energy. Must be equal to change in kinetic energy. Isn't it? So can I even write like this something? Work done by your non-conservative force plus work done by your external force plus work done by your pseudo force will be equal to change in kinetic energy, change in kinetic energy plus change in potential energy, because you're taking this minus u on that side. Can I write like that, beta? Can I write like that? Once again, work done by the net force is always equals to what? Change in kinetic energy. So that is K final minus K initial. Now what is that net force? That net force can be anything, but it may be work done due to the conservative force, non-conservative. Conservative force means like gravity. Non-conservative force means like friction, isn't it? Viscosity, that like that. External force means like a spring forces or spring work done due to the tension, something like that. Work done by the pseudo forces must be equal to change in kinetic energy. But we know that work done by the conservative force is how much? Minus of delta U. So that is the reason in the place of conservative force, I'm writing minus of delta U plus work done by non-conservative, work done by external, work done by pseudo. So if I'm taking minus delta U on that side, so work done by the non-conservative, external plus pseudo must be equal to change in kinetic energy plus delta. Done? Sure. So I can write here ultimately 1 point. Work done by your non-conservative force plus work done by your external force plus work done by your pseudo force must be equal to your K final plus of your U final minus K initial plus U initial. Okay. So work done by the force, like say conservative forces, will always be equal to what, beta? Change in mechanical energy. This is final equalization is what for me, beta? Change in mechanical energy. So I can say there, therefore, work done by all forces, the bracket, except conservative, except your conservative force, must be equal to what, beta? Change in mechanical energy. Change in mechanical energy. Work done by all the forces except by your conservative force will be equal to your change in mechanical energy. That means initial mechanical energy will be equal to your final kinetic energy. That means if I say that if work done by your non-conservative force is equals to work done by the external force, and that is equals to work done by your pseudo force, that must be equal to 0. If that is equals to 0, then I can say that K final plus U final will be equal to your K initial plus of your U initial. That means initial mechanical energy will be equal to final mechanical energy. So this is here right now, final mechanical energy will be equal to your initial mechanical energy. This is your law of conservation of mechanical energy. This one is known as your law of conservation of mechanical energy. So what do you mean by law of conservation of mechanical energy, beta? If work done by the non-conservative force, work done by the external force and pseudo force is equals to 0, then initial mechanical energy will be equal to final mechanical energy, which is known as of your law of conservation of your mechanical energy. Is that clear? Is it clear? Any doubt in this one to anyone? Sure. See it once again better. We just started with your potential energy. The energy of the body by the virtue of its position is called as what? Potential energy. So integral of du is equals to minus of integral of dw. So integral of du is nothing but beta, substituting the upper limit and lower limit, u final minus u initial is equals to work done by conservative field. This is your important form. Or u final minus u initial is delta E. So u initial minus u final is equals to work done by conservative, and work done by conservative force is what beta? Independent of your path. Okay, and is as it is independent of your path, whether you go from initial to final or final to initial, that is always constant. And potential energy can be positive, negative, or zero because it is a conservative force and it depends upon the frame of reference in which you are doing the problem. One more relation. Negative potential gradient is also called as force. So F is equals to minus of du by dx. We are going to some examples related to that one. Then work energy theorem. Work done by all the forces must be equal to change in kinetic energy. So work done by all the forces means it may be a conservative or non-conservative, external, pseudo, everything must be equal to K final minus K initial. Law of mechanical energy means if the work done by all the forces are zero, except your conservative force, then the mechanical energy is said to be conserved. That means initial mechanical energy will be equal to final mechanical energy. Is it clear for everyone? Is it clear? Okay, sure. We'll try to do some problems based on this one, beta. Sure. Chalo. Start doing these problems, beta. First problem, try to do this first problem. The momentum of a body of mass 5 kg is 10 kg per meter per second. A force of 2 Newton is acting on a body in the direction of motion for 5 seconds. The increase in the kinetic energy is how much? Got it? The momentum of a body of mass 10 kg. The momentum of a body of mass 5 kg is 10 kg meter per second. A force of 2 Newton acts on a body in the direction of motion for 5 seconds. The increase in the kinetic energy will be equal to how much? Momentum is given for me, beta. See, momentum P is equals to M into your V. Momentum is given as 10. Mass is given as 5 into V. So I can get velocity 5 ones are 5 twos are. So velocity is equals to 2 meter per second. So what will be the acceleration? Acceleration A is equals to how much force you are applying? Force divided by mass. Force is 2 Newton. Mass is nothing but equal to your how much? 5 kg. Okay. So that will be equal to 2 by 5. 2 by 5 is how much? 0.4 meter per second square. What is telling is a force of 2 Newton acts on a body in the direction of the motion for 5 seconds. Increase in kinetic energy. Okay. Kinetic energy is half into M into your V square. So kinetic energy is equals to half into M into your V square. Let me check. It is your half into mass is how much for me? 5 into velocity is nothing but equal to your 4. So 2 ones are 2 twos are 10. Half into M into V square. Increase in kinetic energy is asking. Increase in kinetic energy means the force of 2 Newton is acting on a body in the direction of motion for 5 seconds. The increase in the kinetic energy will be equal to how much? Okay. Acceleration is given. So I can say that in that much amount of time, what is the distance for moved by this particle? If I use S is equals to ut plus half of your A into t square. Initial velocity will be equal to how much for me? 2 into time is nothing but equal to your 5 plus half into acceleration is 0.4 into time is nothing but equal to 5 square. So this will be 2 5s are 10 plus this one is your half into 4 by your 10 into 5 5s are 25. So this one is 2 1s are 2 2s are. So it is 2 into 25 is 50. So distance traveled will be equal to 10 plus this is 50 divided by your 10. That means distance traveled is how much for me? Your 15. Okay, distance is 15 meters. So force is given, distance is known for me, so I can calculate the work done. So W is equals to your force into your displacement. So force is how much for me? 2 into displacement is 15. 15 2s are 30. So this will be equal to 30 joules. Third option will be the answer. Done. Sure. If the water falls from a dam into a turbine wheel 19.6 meter below, then the velocity of the water at the turbine will be equal to how much? Okay. So this is your turbine beta. Like say there will be a turbine like this. And from here the water is been falling from a certain height. The water is been falling. Water is falling from a dam into the turbine of wheel 19.6 meter below. Okay, distance is been given for me. So this height is given for me 19.6 meter below. The velocity of the water at the turbine will be equal to how much? So when water is been falling, so I can say here loss in potential energy will be equal to your gain in kinetic energy, isn't it? That means mg into your h will be equal to your half into m into your v square. M and m gets cancelled. 2g into h will be equal to v square. So v is equals to under root of 2g into your h. That is under root of 2 g value approximately I'm taking it as 10. I'll take because it is 19.6. I'll take 9.8 only beta. So it will be easy for me the calculation. So this will be 9.8 into height value is how much? 19.6. So how much I'm getting this one beta? 9.8 into 19.6 whole square. That means this will become for me 19.6 meter per second. B. Clear? Sure. Next one. A bullet fired from a gun can perish a target due to its mechanical energy, heat energy, kinetic energy, acceleration of the given particle participation. Anyone? A bullet fired from the gun can perish into the target due to its mechanical energy, heat energy, kinetic energy, acceleration. Obviously, kinetic energy, isn't it? Acceleration. Huh? Why acceleration, beta? A bullet can perish because more the kinetic energy, more will be penetrating. Okay, because kinetic energy of the body in its motion is called kinetic energy. Now, so when an object is moving, it can do the work. Acceleration cannot do the work there. Okay, so when a bullet is being fired from a gun, can penetrate a target due to its kinetic energy. Next one. When force and displacement are in the same direction, then the kinetic energy of the body increases, decreases, remains constant, becomes zero. When force and displacement are in the same direction, then the kinetic energy of the body, what happens, beta? Anyone? Nandini, Karunya? Theory question, you should be able to give me the answer. Force and displacement, both of them are in the same direction. So work done will be positive. When work done is positive, kinetic energy will also be positive. That means it will be increasing. A. Done. Option C remains constant. Why, beta? See, when force and displacement are in the same direction, work done is equals to your F into S into cos theta. Both of them are in the same direction. Force is in this direction. Displacement is also in the same direction. So theta will be 0. So work done will be positive. Isn't it? So work done will be positive means it will be increasing now. So when force is increasing, work done is also increasing. Okay, it increases. Very good. Next one. The momentum of a body of mass 5 kg is 500 kg meter per second. Find its kinetic energy. Okay, momentum of a body of mass 5 kg. Momentum is given for me. Momentum is given for me as 500 kg meter per second. Okay, and mass is also given. Mass is given as of your 5 kg. Find its kinetic energy. Okay, what is the relation between kinetic energy and momentum, beta? Kinetic energy is equals to your P square divided by 2m. Yesterday I told you. So it is your 500 into your 500 divided by 2 into mass is nothing but 5. So 5 ones are, this is 500s, isn't it? So 2 ones are, 2 5s are, 5 5s are 25. That means this will be equal to how much for me? So this will be 5 5s are 25 into 10 to the power of your 3. That means this will become for me 2.5 into 10 to the power of your 4. Which option? B. B will be the answer. Yeah. Very good. Next one. A bullet of mass 20 gram is found to pass 2 points 30 meters apart in a time interval of 4 seconds. Calculate the kinetic energy of the bullet if it moves with a constant speed per deflation. Okay. Is asking the kinetic energy. So kinetic energy will be equal to half into m into v square. He has given me the bullet of the mass of the bullet is given for me 20 grams found to pass through the 2 points which are 30 meters apart. That means point A and point B. Distance between them is for me 30 meters apart in a time t is equals to 4 seconds. So as it is moving in a straight line, S is equals to V into T. So velocity will be equal to your distance traveled by your time. So distance traveled is how much? 30 divided by your 4. So 30 divided by 4 means how much will be better? 4 7s are 7.5. Yeah. Velocity is 7.5 meter per second. So kinetic energy will be equal to half into mass is given how much for me? 20 grams. That means 0.02 kgs into velocity will be 7.5 into 7.5. So do this calculation, we'll get the answer. See how much you're getting this. Option C, you're getting a 0.562. Okay, see. Option C, 0.5625 joules. Very good. Okay. Next one. Kinetic energy in water is used to run turbines, generate nuclear power, generate hydroelectricity, thermal power part. Can anyone tell me the answer for this one? Potential energy of the water stored to great heights in a dam is used to run turbines for generating hydroelectricity. So what will be the best condition for this one? Kinetic energy of the water is used to no doubt run the turbines, but it is used to produce what? Hydroelectricity. So more appropriate answer will be equal to your C. Okay. Even if you write A also correct only, because it will be a controversial question, because kinetic energy of the water, when you are taking that one, when it has been dropping from a certain height, the potential energy of that one is getting into converted into potential energy that will run the turbines, and that turbines will only generate the hydroelectricity. Okay. So next one. What energy does a stretched bow possess? Anyone? What energy does a stretched bow possess? Kinetic energy, gravitational potential energy, elastic potential energy, potential energy. Anyone? C. Elastic potential energy. No, beta. Elastic potential energy is stored in the springs, not in the bow. In the bow, you stretch the string to a larger distance. That means the potential energy is being stored in that one, not the elastic potential energy. Don't get confused. A stretched bow possesses the potential energy beta, because as soon as it is released, it shoots the arrow in the forward direction with a large velocity. That means the potential energy of that one is getting converted into your kinetic energy. So that is the reason a stretched bow will always possess the potential energy, but not elastic potential energy. Elastic potential energy is possessed by the springs. Okay, sure. Next one. A ball whose kinetic energy is capital E is projected at an angle 45 degrees to horizontal. The kinetic energy of the ball at the highest point of its flight will be equal to how much? You know that in projectile, when a body is being projected, at highest point of the projectile, we have the velocity u cos theta. And vertical component of the velocity will become for me 0. So kinetic energy formula is half into m into your v square. At highest point, the kinetic energy is nothing but equal to your u cos theta. So I can write here kinetic energy at your highest point, h, will be equal to your half into m into your v square. That is nothing but u square into your cos square theta. So that is equals to your half into m into your u square into cos square theta is nothing but 45 degrees. Cos 45 is how much for me? 1 by root 2. 1 by root 2 whole square. So how much will become? So this will become for me initial energy beta into your 1 by root 2 whole square. So that will become for me E by 2. E by 2. So this will be the answer. Okay. Initial energy, I am writing this one as half into m into your u square. Clear? Is it clear, beta? C. Yeah, very good. Chalo, next one. A particle moves in a straight line with retardation proportional to its displacement. Its loss of kinetic energy for any displacement x is proportional to. Very good question, beta. A particle moves in a straight line with retardation proportional to the displacement. Retardation means A. Acceleration is proportional to the displacement x. Isn't it? So A is equals to, I can write as dV divided by your dt is equals to, removing the proportionality constant, some k into your x. Isn't it? So I can even write like this, d by your dt, velocity can be written as of your dx by your dt is equals to some k into your x. So this will be equal to how much for me, beta? Dx by dt is nothing but for me what? Velocity. Isn't it? D square x by dt square is nothing but of your acceleration. Or else I can even write like this, dv divided by your dt into your, so if I divide by your dx on both the sides, so it is dx divided by your dx is equals to your k into your x. Dx by dt will give me what, beta? Velocity. So I can write here v into your dv divided by dx is also equal to your k into your x. So all the x terms on one side and v terms on one side. So v into dv is equals to k into x into your dx. Integrate on both the sides. integral of v into dv will be equal to integral of k into your x into your dx. From initial velocity v1 to final velocity v2. This one is 0 to your x. Integral of v into dv is how much beta? V square by 2. V square divided by 2. Limits are for v1 to your v2, that is equals to k out. Integral of your x into dx is x square divided by 2. Limits are 0 to your x. Now upper limit minus lower limit if I am taking. So this will become for me v2 square divided by 2 minus v1 square divided by 2 is equals to some constant k into your x square divided by 2. Isn't it? So now what is asking the problem is it's loss in kinetic energy. Okay, I got the velocities. If I multiply by mass on both the sides, so it is your m into your v2 square divided by 2 minus m into your v1 square divided by 2 is equals to k into m into x square divided by 2. So this one is k final minus of k initial is equals to half into k into m into x square. Isn't it? So k final minus k initial is what? Loss, no? So loss in kinetic energy is directly proportional to x square. Because half is a constant, m is a constant, k is also constant. So it should be directly proportional to x square. A must be the answer. Good question, beta. Guy, to go through it once. Everyone. Okay, beta. See, what is telling is a particle moves in a straight line. A particle moves in a straight line like this. And retardation is proportional to its displacement. That means acceleration only, na? Retardation means negative acceleration. Isn't it? So A is proportional to your acceleration. In which direction? Directly proportional. So A is directly proportional to X. A value I'm writing as dV by dt. I'm removing this proportionality constant K into X. Isn't it? So I can write this dV by dt here right now. Let's. So I'm multiplying and dividing by dx. So I'm writing that velocity, acceleration in terms of velocity, everything. So dV by dt into dx by dx is equal to K into X. Now this dx by dt will give me what beta? Velocity only, na? So that is the reason I have written velocity. And this is dV by dx is equal to K into X. And all the x terms I have taken on one side. So it is v into dv is equal to K into X into dx. So integral of v into dv is equal to integral of K into X into dx. Integral formula, you know, integral of x to the power of n into dx will be equal to your x n plus 1 divided by n plus 1. So integral of v power 1 into dv will be equal to how much for me? V 1 plus 1 divided by 1 plus 1. So that will be equal to v square divided by 2. That is the reason I have written here v square by divided by 2. The same way, integral of your x power of your 1 into your dx will be equal to how much? X 1 plus 1 divided by 1 plus 1. So it is equals to x square divided by 2. So it is the reason I have written here x square divided by 2. Now substitute upper limit minus lower limit. That's it. And simplify. Okay. So we are getting v2 square by v1 square is equals to k into x square divided by 2. Multiplying on both the sides by m. Half into your m into your v2 square will give me k final. Half into m into v1 square will give me k initial. And this one is k into m into x square divided by 2. 2 is a constant, k is a constant, m is a constant. So k final minus k initial is directly proportional to x square. Clear? The next one. The blades of the windmill sweeps out a circle of area A. Okay, this sweeps out a circle of your area A. If the wind flows at a velocity v perpendicular to the circle, okay, perpendicular to the circle, that means incoming will be equal to your outgoing. What is the kinetic energy of the mass of the air of density rho passing through it in the time? Okay. Kinetic energy will be equal to half into m into v square. Can I write the mass in terms of density, beta? That is half. Mass is equals to volume into density into your v square. Okay. So it is equals to half into volume is equals to, I can write as of your area into distance moved. Volume is equals to area into length into rho into v square. This length is nothing but equal to distance traveled. So L is equals to V into T. Distance traveled, like S is equals to V into T, like that. So this will be equal to your half into your A into distance traveled will be the velocity V into T into rho into your V square. So this will become for me half into rho into A into V into V square will become for me how much? V cube into your T. This will be the answer. Half into A into V cube rho into T. Which option will be the answer, better? Half. Half is only in the fourth option. So this will be the answer. Very good question. Try to go through it. Done, beta? Is it clear this question, everyone? Okay, sure. Next question. The blades of the windmill sweeps out a circle of area A, assuming that the windmill converts 25% of its wind energy into electrical energy, and that A is 30 meter per second square, velocity is 36 kilometer per hour, and the density of the air is 1.2 kg per meter cube. What is the electrical power consumed? Okay, power I have not told you, but still energy will be, power will be equal to what, beta? Energy divided by time. Okay, so I'm just writing the formula for you. Energy is equals to power into time. Okay, so I can say that electrical power is equals to electrical energy divided by time. Okay. Now, what is given in the problem? The blades of the windmill sweeps out a circle of area. Assume that windmill converts 25% of its energy. Okay, that means electrical energy is equals to 25% of your wind energy. That means 25% means 25 divided by 100 into kinetic energy of air. That's what is exactly meaning to say. Okay, so 25 by 100 is how much, beta? 1 by how much? How many times it will go? 4, na? 1 by 4. Into kinetic energy of the air, just now we got the formula. Half into A into V cube into rho into T. Isn't it? So this will be equal to how much for me? 1 by 8 into A into V cube rho into T. So this will be the electrical energy. So power will be equal to energy divided by time. So energy will be equal to 1 by 8 into A into V cube rho into T. Divided by time. This T and this T will get cancelled. So that will be equal to your 1 by 8 into area is given how much, beta? Area is given how much for me? 30 meter square. So SI system only. So this will be equal to your 30 into velocity. into velocity. Velocity is 36 kilometer per hour. So V is equals to 36 kilometer per hour. Convert into meters beta. So 36 into 5 by your 18. 5 by your 18. How much will be getting? Velocity? How many times beta? 18 ones are 18 twos are 5 twos are 10. So velocity will be equal to 10 meter per second. So that will be equal to your 10 cube into density. What will be the density of the air beta? It should have been given it. Otherwise, we need to take 1. Density of air is given as 1.2. Okay. So density of air is given as 1.2. So you just simplify this one, you'll get the answer. So it is 1 by 8 into your 30 into your 10 into 10 into 10 into 12 divided by 10. I can write this 10 will get cancelled right now here. So just simplify this one, better see how much I'm getting. 4 2s are 8, 4 3s are 12. Isn't it? That is 3 by 2. Isn't it? So this one is your 30, 3 3s are 9, 90. Isn't it? So it is 90 divided by 2 into your 10 into 10 is nothing but 100. So 2 1s are 2 4s are 8. And here it will be 1, 2 5s are 45. So it is 45 into your 100. It is 4.5 into 10 to the power of 3 watt. It will be the unit. That means it is 4.5 kilowatt I can write. 4.5 kilowatt. Yeah, C will be the answer. Yeah. Go through it better once here. Go through it. Next one. A particle of mass m1 is moving with velocity v1 is equals to v1 and another particle of mass m2 is moving with velocity v2. Both are having the same momentum, but their different kinetic energies are E1 and E2. If m1 is greater than m2, then what is the relation between them? Okay. So write the relation between the energy and momentum beta. E is equals to p square divided by 2 into your m. Okay. Now for the two particles, if I'm writing the relation, for the first particle, E1 is equals to P1 square divided by 2 into your M1. In the same way, E2 is equals to your P2 square divided by 2 times of your M2. Okay, so that means I can write here M1 is equals to P1 square divided by 2 times of E1. The same way, M2 will be equal to your P2 square divided by this will be equal to how much beta? M2 will be equal to your 2 times of your E2. Clear? What is given in the problem? M1 is greater than M2. Okay. M1 is greater than M2. M1 is greater than M2 means M1 by your M2 is greater than 1. That means P1 square into E2 divided by E1 into your P2 square. That will be greater than 1. So I can say that E2 divided by E1 will be greater than 1 because momentum P1 will be equal to P2. Okay, so E2 must be greater than of E1. That means I can write here E2 will be greater than E1. Okay, both have the same momentum is telling me. So that is the reason I have took their momentum same. So it is inversely proportional. So obviously E2 will be greater than E1. That's a direct question. Clear? Sure. Next one. The body of mass m is dropped from a certain height. It has a velocity v1 when it is at a height of h1 above the ground. It has a velocity v2 when it is at a height of h2 above the ground. Then which of the following statement is true? Try it, beta. A body of mass m is dropped from a certain height. This is your height. Sorry. This is your height. From here it is been dropped. That means initial velocity is 0. It has a velocity v1 when it is at a height of h1. Okay. When it is at a height of h1, its velocity is v1 above the ground. And it has a velocity when v2 when it is at a height of h2. Okay. Somewhere it is at a height h2. Now this one is v2 and this one is your ground. This one is your ground. When it is at a height of h2 above the ground, then which of the following relation is true? So when it is been dropped beta, so it has been dropped from the initial height. So total energy at height h1 will be equal to how much beta? Total energy at height h1. That will be equal to how much? Half into m into v1 square plus potential energy mg into your h1. Potential energy is nothing but of your mg into your h1. Mass is how much for me? Body of mass is given for me m. Kinetic energy plus potential energy mg into your h1. Is it correct, brother? Right. Total energy at your height h1. So initial velocity v1 will be equal to here. The kinetic energy will be half into m into v square. And in terms of your height, if I am writing v square minus u square is equals to 2a into your s. Initial velocity is 0. So v square will be equal to your under root of your 2g into your h1. Okay. So it is half into m into v1 square plus acceleration due to gravity. Total energy at a height of your h1. Okay, kinetic energy is half into m into v square, and that potential energy mg into your h1 will be equal to your final kinetic energy is half into m into your v square. It is half into m, v square is 2g into your h1. 2 gets cancelled, still I'll be getting it as mg into your h1. Okay, I'll write it as mg into h1. The same way, total energy at height h2, that will be equal to how much beta? Half into m into your, this will become for me v2 square plus of your mg into your h2. Okay, so we know that total energy will always remain constant during a free fall. That means total energy of a height h1 must be equal to total energy of a height of h2. So total energy at h1 must be equal to total energy at your h2. That means I can write this one as half into m into v1 square plus mg into your h1 must be equal to your half into m into your v2 square plus mg into your h2. Okay. So I can take all the velocities on one side. So it is half m into v1 square. This will become for me minus half into m into your v2 square. That will be equal to your mg into your h2. This will be your mg into your h1. Okay. So this one is half m is your common into v1 square minus of v2 square is equals to mg common into your h2 minus of h1. This m and this m will get cancelled right now for me. So I can write here v1 square minus of v2 square will be equal to your 2g into your h2 minus of your h1. Okay. 2g into your h2 minus of your h1. So which option I can write it out better? v1 square minus v2 square is equal to 2g into your h2 minus h1. That means b will be the answer. Clear? Sure. Okay. Next one. The potential energy of a 1 kg particle free to move along the x-axis is given by V is equals to x to the power of 4 divided by 4 minus x square by 2 joules. The total mechanical energy of the particle is 2 joules. Find the maximum speed of the particle. Good question, beta. What is given is velocity is maximum when kinetic energy is what, beta? Potential energy is given for me. V is equals to V as a function of your x is given as x to the power of 4 divided by 4 minus x square divided by 2. The total mechanical energy of the particle is given for me. Total energy is given for me 2 joules. Maximum speed is asking. For maximum speed, kinetic energy will be maximum, beta. For kinetic energy maximum means potential energy should be minimum. So I can say that for minimum potential energy, dV divided by dx must be equal to how much, beta? 0. Maximum minimum concept, isn't it? So differentiation of x to the power of 4 will be equal to how much for me, beta? 1 by 4 is out. So this will become for me x cube minus of your x. That will be equal to 0. So if I simplify it, we'll be getting x is equals to plus or minus of your 1. So minimum potential energy will be equal to how much, beta? Minimum potential energy will be at x value, will take it as of your 1 by 4 minus 1 by 2. That means that is minus of 1 by 4 joules. So this is your minimum potential energy. Given in the problem, total mechanical energy of the particle is 2 joules. That means maximum kinetic energy okay. Given in the problem for me, maximum kinetic energy plus minimum potential energy will be equal to how much? 2. So what will be the maximum kinetic energy? Kmax will be equal to your 2 plus potential energy is minus. So this will become for me 1 by 4. That means 2 plus 1 by 4 is how much for me? 9 by 4. So maximum kinetic energy will be equal to half into m into Vmax square. So this is nothing but 9 by 4 is equals to half, mass is 1 into Vmax square. Isn't it? So 2 ones are 2 twos are. So that will become for me Vmax is equals to under root of 9 by 2. That means this will become for me 3 by root 2 meter per second. Once again, beta. Potential energy of a 1 kg particle free to move along the x-axis is given as V is equals to x power 4 divided by 4 minus x square by 2. Total mechanical energy, that means sum of potential energy and kinetic energy is how much? If maximum speed means maximum speed is nothing but maximum kinetic energy. Maximum kinetic energy means minimum potential energy. That is a basic logic. X power 4 differentiation is how much, beta? 4 into x power 4 minus 1, that is equal to x cube. Differentiation of x square is how much, beta? 2 into your x, isn't it? 2 and 2 will get cancelled. That is the reason I have written it directly here. So x cube minus x is equal to 0. So x will be equal to plus or minus 1. Total energy is 2 joules. So minimum potential energy, how much I am getting right now? Minimum potential energy is this one. How? Because x value I have taken here 1. 1 by 4 minus 1 by 2. That is minus 1 by 4. Okay. So then maximum kinetic energy plus maximum potential energy is how much, beta? 2, no? So maximum kinetic energy will be equal to 2. This will go here. Minus 1 by 4 will become for me plus. So 2 plus 1 by 4 is how much? 9 by 4. So maximum kinetic energy is half into m into V max square. Just simplify it to get the answer for it. Okay. Done. Next one. Two springs of the force constant. Two springs. Okay. This is one spring and this is your another spring. Force constant of how much? This one is 300 Newton per meter. This is a spring A and this is your spring B. And for this one, it is your 400 Newton per meter or joined together in series. Okay, they are joined together in the series. The combination is compressed. Yani X value is 8.75 centimeters. The ratio of energy stored in A and B is EA by EB. Then EA by EB is how much? Okay. See, extension is how much for me? 8.75 is an extension. Okay. So spring A is being compressed. So combination is being compressed means one spring is being compressed by X. Therefore, the spring and the B will be equal to how much for me? Extension of total. This X is nothing but of a total compression of your spring A and spring B, na beta? Isn't it? That means spring A plus of your extension in the spring B is equals to 8.75. So if I'm talking about the spring construction in B, that will be 8.75 minus of your XA, isn't it? So force will be equal to how much for me? F is equals to K into your X. First spring is right now 300 into, in that one extension is right now I'm taking XA. Then the spring in the force of your A, this is the force of your B will be equal to your 400 into your 8.75 minus of your XA. Isn't it? So both of the spring force will be the same. FA will be equal to your FB. So this will be your 300 into your XA will be equal to 400 into 8.75 minus of your XA. So if we simplify it, we'll be getting the value of your XA. So do it, we'll be getting some around 5 centimeters. So once I get your XA, I can get the value of XB. So XB will be equal to 8.75 minus of your 5. That will be 3.75. So now calculate the energy. Energy of your A divided by energy of your B is equals to half KA into your X of your A whole square divided by half into KB into your XB square. Half and half will get cancelled. So this is 300 into XA is nothing but 5 square divided by this is your 400 into this one is 3.75 whole square. This 2 zeros, this 2 zeros gets cancelled. So 3 by 4 into 5 5 is 25 divided by 3.75 into 3.75. Simplified, we'll get the answer for this. See how much I'm getting. Go through the problem once again, but a good question. Try to take the time and write tomorrow's examination better. Tomorrow you have an examination, motion on a straight line, motion in plane, and your laws of motion. So try to revise the formulas and try to do the basic questions and try to resolve the components better, and make sure that you try to do the problems of the connecting bodies, how to take the tensions for the 2 bodies, 3 bodies, isn't it? That also I told you. You please try to revise them and write examination tomorrow. Okay, don't miss the examination better. Okay. Option A is that correct, sir? Which one better? This question only, no? Yeah, 4/3 is correct, beta. 4/3 is correct. Yeah. Okay. So tomorrow write the exam. Don't miss it and try to revise the laws of motion once. Connecting bodies, how to take the tensions and how to take the accelerations, and try to write an examination. Variable mass concept, F is equals to V into dm by dt. That all part you please try to write an exam. Okay. Sure. Take care, beta. Bye. Bye.